they're the folks that, they speak up first because they know that this is the right thing to do. I'm curious to hear from the people who have remained silent, who have not called these things out for what they are. I'm thinking of members of the squad, for example. When are we going to see a statement from AOC? I'm curious to see what she says, because a lot of those very left-wing progressive politicians have carried water for the keffiyeh-wearing protesters at Columbia, and the radicalization that we've seen on these campuses, this is the grown-up version of it. This is what we just saw on the streets of Washington, D.C., and it's terrifying. And I'm curious to see, from not the usual suspects, what they have to say about this.
Yeah, me too. I want to kind of double that up because Mark was saying this earlier, but Director Kash Patel has now posted the statement. My team and I have been briefed on the shooting tonight in downtown D.C. outside the Capitol Jewish Museum and near our Washington field office, right down the street, by the way, from the field office. While we're working with MPD, Metro Police, to respond and learn more in the immediate, please pray for the victims and their families. We will keep the public updated as we are able. And Mark, that's, it's one of those things where as we wait for the news conference, we know behind the scenes they're making sure that everybody is there, that everybody is kind of on the same page, and that we have the relevant and valid information that they need to be able to disseminate, to be able to make sure that there are no mistakes and that they're not pointing fingers unjustly at people, because we have had reports that people came in, CBS News and others and our radio reporters have said that people came in shouting anti-Semitic statements and wearing Palestinian clothing. Your thoughts on this, Mark?
Yeah. So if you ask
so
Mark
many
Dubowitz,
of these investigations, it looks like they're giving us maybe a little. They may be getting close to the podium, but that is not the first speaker we're going to hear from. But Trace, what I would imagine they're going to say is that this is all preliminary, that something horrific has happened here in the nation's capital that is generating worldwide attention. As we've talked about, we know that the FBI director, the attorney general, the U.S. attorney here in D.C., all very closely involved, as well as the Secretary of Homeland Security. I just checked Truth Social. I haven't seen any comments from President Trump yet. No indication if he is been made aware yet, if the White House has briefed him. Obviously, his top law enforcement teams are already on top of this. Members of Congress, they were working late, so we know that they're aware of what's going on. You mentioned you heard from Elise Stefanik. I also mentioned we got the comments from Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, who's also Jewish, who's come out to say that this is just another horrible anti-Semitic attack that has become so common. I would also imagine that at some point we'll learn more about who's in custody, but whether or not we're going to get a name, an age, or anything like that, I would say that's pretty unlikely because the shooting just happened 2 hours ago. So at this point, it would almost be like they wouldn't want to speculate.
Mark, let me just jump
in
here very quickly. We've got our Fox 5 affiliate is now interviewing a witness. Watch.
Took place.
I was in the elevator, so I missed the shots fired. When I entered the lobby, there's much commotion and much frenzy. But no, I did not hear the shooting.
I completely understand if you're not up to it. I want to make sure I'm being considerate of everything that you've gone through. Are you able to describe what took place after police rushed in? You said they subdued this man.
They took him immediately outside. They shut the blinds, locked the doors, and they had us all step back to a back area. I don't know, for 20 or 30 minutes, but then detectives came in, and those of us who witnessed anything were told to raise our hands, and then they brought us upstairs to interview us one by one, and they wanted to make sure that we didn't speak all to each other so that we could just share our personal testimony.
Let's go back to the news conference. Hold on.